Yo, what's up, Gus? What is going on? How's everything going with you? Yeah, going pretty good. Got off work and yeah, figured I'd play around a little bit. I want to see if I can find that damn scope finally. Gonna do some diving and try to find that thing. They're also launching Starship, so I want to watch the Starship launch here and let's see. Starship is launching pretty soon.
So we'll get into that.
An hour and 36 minutes. So yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, I do probably need to raise the flag, huh? Swo's been busy. Swo's gotten a bunch of different storage things around. Got more lockers here. Nice. You're gay. What are you doing, Junior? Playing Rust? Oh, man. Skin do I have on those? Yeah, that is sadly. What are you doing, Junior? You playing Rust or what? Yep. Figures. You should tune in about an hour. Watch the Starship launch, dude. Be super cool. I don't know why I'm carrying this around. Have you ever seen a Starship launch, Junior? missing out, bud. It's pretty cool. It's the largest rocket in history. UNC? What does UNC stand for? God dang, Swo's been busy. Swo's been real busy. Holy moly. Rather watch paint dry. Alright, buddy. Alright. Thought I had wire. What the heck? Do I not have wire? Did you get rated off of Rust already, or what? Let's see. Don't know. That's funny. People are silly. I don't remember where we keep all of our keys. I know I just had 2 yellow keys. I think. I don't know where the rest of our keys are. God damn. I don't know where our keys are for the rigs. Or maybe Swill used them. He did bring back a bunch of gear. Oh, here's some. There we go. Probably only need 1 yellow, 2 orange. A blue would be nice. I didn't see a blue though. Some blues would be pretty nice. I do not remember our passcode. Son of a gun. I gotta go look through Discord and try to find it. What the heck is our passcode? It's crazy I don't remember. Oh, there we go.
Yo.
What's planking?
I was thinking the no build zones on the map. I went down to Crutch Island recently,
Yeah.
and the mine is a no build zone, but the mine, the large mine itself, is actually just like one very meager military building, and that's it. And there are no more dives and heli crashes in that location.
Yeah, inside the mine, I think is just like the skeletons are police loot, as far as I know.
Yeah, there used to be like good loot in the mine
Yeah,
tunnel.
The crate used to be there.
Yeah, so I was just a suggestion. You might consider like not
Yeah,
unless you don't want
because
build.
up top they have, um, what do they have? They have like the one military barracks, and then the hospital and office, I think.
Yeah, it's that there are a few military things, but there's like a lot of buildings that would be good, or tunnels that would be good for
For a
base building, but you're not allowed to do it because there's like the odd military
Gotcha.
building.
Yeah, I can take a look at it. It wouldn't be. I don't think that's really used for anything. It's not like a high tier area, so I guess it probably wouldn't be a problem.
It made more sense before that it was because you had like
the diving
hill.
used to be there.
Yeah, and I think at some point there were heli crashes, but like as it is right now, there's nothing going on down there.
Yeah, yeah, I don't mind changing that. We're switching over to the new 6.0 experimental on white.
Yeah, and
so
might like be an idea to.
What's up?
Yeah, make sure that it doesn't like
Yeah,
that they haven't
I gotta make sure
changed
it's not part of the quest or anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I got it all booted up, and I'm working on transferring all the types into the new one and reworking it. So slowly but surely making some progress on that.
Sounds good. Looking forward to seeing it.
Oh, yeah, I haven't actually really played around on it. It'll be pretty fun.
I have no idea what's coming. I haven't read any of the updates.
Yeah, I think John McClane just said he finished part 2 of 5 or 3 of 5 for the final boss battle or something, for the final quest. So pretty soon it'll be 100% complete. That'll be awesome.
I ambushed Svo today.
Nice.
He did some. No, he did survive. my shooting is abysmal. But I ran down to the dive because I got my dive tank back, and I found his gear on the shore. So I was like confused because it was like 1 hour after the restart. So I just like, oh shit, is somebody in the water and back up, or is this just somebody who forgot the gear? So I just grabbed his backpack, ran uphill, stashed it in a tree, and then ran back down and went to a ridge to overlook the area, waiting for anyone to show up. And like 1 minute later, I saw somebody down there, but I had my range set wrong. So I took a pot shot, and he started running in between the trees. I shot a couple of times, but he got away. And then like 50 minutes later, I wrote in the chat, so was that you? It was. It turns out he was almost bleeding to death because his shoes was in the backpack. But yeah, after that, we hooked up and went diving together.
Find a night vision scope yet?
I don't know because I helped him. Uh, we raided the RCS base, whatever was left of it, and we left like 7 or 8 lockers we didn't break into, so it might be in one of those. But I had to go, so he was raiding the lockers when I left him.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I had one of those Snow Owl night vision scopes, and they took it when they raided me. So I know they had one at some point.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't had one yet, so that's what I'm looking for right now. I'm trying to go find one.
I'm not even sure where I found it. Oh shit.
I think they're only spawning in the containers. Well, I know they're only spawning in the
Okay.
containers and in the underwater diving.
Yeah, sounds like one of the probably. I didn't even have like an idea that it was special. I thought it was just a Snow Owl scope.
Yeah. No, if it takes a battery and it'll say like night vision on it, that's a really good one.
Yeah, that's the one I had because later I noticed it in our stash, and I had no idea where we got it from.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Oh shoot. There's no container here. What the heck?
The reason my rates alert doesn't work anymore, and I can't figure out why.
What do you mean?
It doesn't give me. If I test it, it gives alert, but if I break down something, it doesn't alert me anymore.
Yeah, so I changed it to where only doors getting broken down and gates.
Okay, that's why. Because I
Yeah.
didn't want to break down a door and take off the code lock and stuff. So I
Yeah.
just tried walls, so that's why.
Yeah, walls shouldn't set it off yet.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
What does Tanaris think about that gun he got?
Uh,
Or has he not shot it yet?
I don't think he shot it at anyone yet. Not even sure where we stashed it. Our base is a mess after we got raided, so like, we just.
I'm streaming just in case, you know.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just like dumped everything, and I was like considering. I shorted up with the code locks from the lockers and stuff, because they mostly sort outdoors.
Yeah.
But like with how little time there's left for the next restart, wipe, it's like I don't really wanna
Rebuild completely.
Yeah, because most of it is inventory management. Like they just dump stuff in containers to take other containers, so everything is just one big jumble of gear in random lockers.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets pretty crazy when you have a big base. Sometimes wipe is nice just to reset everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so right now I'm just looking forward to the wipe, and then meanwhile I'm just raiding and getting into trouble, shooting at people.
Running people over in cars.
If the opportunity presents itself. But we have had like crazy luck last week with timing. First Daenerys and then the raid on that other base, where we literally start sawing the front door, and they came in by boat, and Daenerys spotted them out to sea, so opened fire and killed the two guys. And then continued to raid their base, but so now we have our own stuff, that base and the other base we raided yesterday, so like we're drowning in stuff and nobody wants to clean up the mess. And we have like 2 or 3 stashes around the map also.
Yeah, I always end up moving too much. As long as I have a couple kits, that's all I really need. But I always end up picking up stuff I just don't even need. Like, I could probably stop looting a quarterly through the wipe and just PvP and just have fun. But I always keep picking up stuff.
Same here, I need to like write a note, put it on a monitor. Don't hoard, just play.
Yeah, if I kill someone or raid someone, I'm like, I pick up everything in there. It's like, I don't even know what I'm doing. No, I'm excited to see the new changes for the new 6.0. That'll be fun. I wanted to do it this last wipe, but I'm kind of glad I waited because he did a bunch of updating, so it should be pretty fun now.
Any, do you know what's coming? Like the big changes?
Kind of. So, I posted a bunch of changes in the Discord under the announcements, and you probably read that. But those were some
Probably
really
haven't.
big ones.
Let's take a look now.
I think I posted it. Oh, when did I post it? Announcements. It was on September 20th. So those are going to be some of the main changes. But he's done a lot of things, and some of the changes, like I said, I think we've already done, and we already have on the server. But there's quite a few new things. And there's like new areas in the Jungle Temple. There's a new area, and some other changes.
I set up my own server a while back and noticed that like there were some inaccessible areas that were whole tunnel systems, so I guess that's the new stuff he was working on.
I think there's like a whole other came-up door. I don't know if you need another
Nice.
security card to get into it or what, but I think that'll be somewhere in the Jungle Temple. But I don't know, I'm gonna just kind of set it all up and kind of just explore it, play the map, see how it goes.
Yeah. It's gonna be a winter map.
No, this wipe will be the normal 6.0 experimental, and then the following will be winter.
Okay.
200 meters. And we'll see how the experimental does. We may have to, for the winter map, we may have to go back to the 5.9 depending on how well it does.
gonna do simple base again or change it to base building plus?
I'm gonna make a poll in the chat.
Yeah.
And, ask people what they want. I think.
I think the biggest obstacle is that most people now know the base building plus. Know the simple base.
Yeah. Well, I think it's gonna be a lot to be changing the map itself
Yeah.
and that. I think I'm gonna probably just have to stick with the one, like change just the map and not change the base building. For this
There's somewhat of a learning curve with base building plus.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think changing the map and that in one wipe might be a little too much for me to deal with all at once. So maybe that'll be like the following wipe if everybody wants it.
Oh yeah, another thing, metabolism. Like, I'm always getting wet in my base because I have to wade through. But
Yeah.
like, it's crazy. Like, you literally have to almost, if you go diving and stuff, have to eat a cow each real life hour. Seems a bit excessive.
When you're wet, you use up a lot more calories and stuff.
Yeah, but it's like unrealistic much because like if you kill a cow and cook all the meat, that will not like last a full day if you're wet.
Yeah, we haven't changed any of the energy consumption levels. So that's just like vanilla. Could change some of it, but
Yeah,
part of
right on.
it's one of those things that if we change it, then Daisy may change it again, you know.
Yeah.
Something they're always
Okay.
messing with.
Yeah, so it would be better to take it up with the like the Isle mod or the Isle.
Yeah,
Put it as a suggestion.
Deer Isle I don't think Deer Isle changed any of it either. I think that's all just base Daisy.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah, because they're just running whatever the 1.29 or 1.28 I should say.
Yeah, I'll suggest it in the forum then.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of things that probably we could do. It's just, you know.
Oh, or at least change the diving suit so it keeps you warm underwater.
That would be pretty easy to do. Does it not keep you warm? Does it not insulate you?
Nope. Still get cold.
Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that because it should be a dry suit, right? Like in real life, if you're inside of it, you shouldn't be getting wet.
Yeah, exactly. And like the only thing that diving suit does in conjunction with the helmet is make you sink to the bottom and be able to use your hands.
Run around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think giving the suit some insulation would be pretty easy to do. I don't think it'd be able to keep your character dry completely, but it would keep you from being cold, which is what I think uses your energy.
Yeah, because like one dive in the lake or something, and you're like, your food is maybe energy levels like 50% gone.
I noticed something weird. Well, I noticed it a long time ago, but in the Arctic, and I need to test it to see if it's actually true, but it seems like if you're freezing cold from like the rain with the bear suit on, you're dark blue. If you get in the water, you actually go to light blue,
Okay.
which just doesn't make any sense at all, but
No.
it does work like that. It seems to be at least, so we need to test it out. Yeah, it'll be interesting because I want to see how he's gonna do the um, like where he's gonna put the helicopters and all that stuff. I'm curious to see how he's gonna do all that. Because I don't want helicopters to be super easy to get. So we'll just see how hard they are. See if we need to change anything.
Also gonna like make you reconsider how you build your base.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I thought about that. I was like, well, some servers have it to where you can't use a helicopter to raid and all that stuff, but I think that's going to be hard to enforce. I think it's just going to be easier just to let people do what they're going to do. I don't like. I've played on a lot of PvP servers where they just UAV with the helicopter, like they're in a fight and one player is just sitting up there circling. I do not like that at all, so I'll probably make that against the rules. But again, that's a gray area. It's hard to know if somebody's just UAVing or if they're just maybe they suck at flying a helicopter. you know.
I just got a flashback to one of the other servers that had multiple types of helicopters, and oh boy, like Daenerys took off in one helicopter up in Portland, where there are those tall apartment buildings.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining watching somebody that doesn't know how to fly a helicopter fly a helicopter. When I still don't know how to fly very well, but I got a little better. But it was horrible me flying for the first time. And then Swo did it too. It was funny. Swo and Junior both trying to learn is hilarious.
Actually, like it's been a while since I've done it, but I love going on armor free and then the little bird helicopter.
Yep.
just set up like custom missions, basically just Humvees with heavy machine guns, and then fly against those with a Gatling gun. Just like hugging the ridges and popping up, taking out the Hummers before they shoot at me.
Is that Arma 3 or Arma 4?
Armor 3.
Arma 3.
Armor 4 isn't out yet.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking Arma Reforger.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fiddy plays. My buddy Fiddy, he plays a lot of Arma 3, and he plays Reforger a lot.
I haven't tried Reforger just because it seems like a tech demonstrator for the upcoming Arma 4.
Yeah, the server I jumped into, I bought the game and I played with Fiddy, but it was, I think there were some cheaters on the server, and it was pretty crazy. It was a pretty wild server, so I think I need to play like the more normal type server to really get a feel for it. I tried to play the Deer Isle server that John McClane has up, and I did not like that at all.
What was wrong with it? Just not enough.
It's just not Deer Isle, you know, and it's not
Okay.
it's not DayZ. If I had gone into it thinking like, oh, this is just a completely different game that's inspired by the Deer Isle map, then it might have been okay. But like trying to play it like I play DayZ, it was just nah.
It's also like frustrating when Bohemia like makes other game while not finishing DayZ. It's not as bad now, but like remember when like Wigger and those games came out? It's like, what the hell? You're supposed to finish DayZ.
Yeah, I kind of got lucky. I mean, I didn't start playing DayZ till it was already in a pretty good state. So I wasn't there for all the horrible stuff, but I've seen clips of. I mean, it started out as a really bad game. I think Running Man Z did like a flashback of like all the different iterations of the game, and it was pretty crazy watching all the different updates.
Yeah, Daenerys has played longer than me. He played it back when it was Arma 2 mod.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that was like apparently way better than. It has much more stuff in it.
He thinks it was better back then?
Yeah, of course it was older. But the stuff that was in the game in the base game were just so much more types of loot and vehicles than today.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Also, like I don't every time Bohemia fixes one thing, they break something that used to work fine, and I simply do not understand how they do that because
Yeah, they are. They're good at doing that.
it's like, don't they use like object oriented programming? Like that's the main point, one of the main points, making sure that you don't break everything when you change stuff in one place.
Yep. I'll be right back. Gotta talk to my girlfriend.
Okay.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome. No problem. Welcome back. Okay, I'm gonna make a fire barrel and start burning shit because we have too much.
Who was saying the other day? They were like, "I can't bury a barrel." Who was saying that?
Wasn't me.
Someone was saying they couldn't bury a barrel, but they turned it into a fire barrel. And I was like, "Yeah, you can't bury a fire barrel."
Wish some servers, I think you can turn fire barrels back into regular barrels by a blowtorch.
Oh, blowtorch. Okay. I've not seen that.
I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna need like a whole tent full of gloves in the time the server has left.
Why do I keep getting cut? Oh, I'm not wearing
You
my
poop.
hood. I'm wearing my damn NBC hood. Should have brought a head strap. I don't have a. Don't have night vision when I'm full NBC'd up.
I basically just run around in NBC gear now.
That skin does look pretty good on the NBC. Like, blends in
And
really
it's
well.
and like it's perfect for where somebody has night vision goggles on. Pretty good matches the
With the green.
yeah the green of the night vision goggles.
I'm all over the place. Forgot my hood, and I ran in here and forgot my key.
Is there a fast way to drag stuff from one container to another?
From one container to another.
It's just like you can shift click to drop things on the ground, but oh
You
wait,
can hold
Control-
H to pick them all up into your inventory.
oh that actually works. It moves the stuff from my inventory to the fire barrel.
Yeah, if you hold
Didn't
H,
know
you
that.
can do that. Yeah. It just dumps it into the closest available inventory. Same thing with picking things up, it'll just dump it into your inventory as well.
Yeah. Like you get so set in your ways that sometimes you don't like examine what what the game can actually do.
Yeah. Well, that one, that's a mod that we added. It's
Okay.
LB Master mod, the hover loop system.
Oh, Old1's NV Snow Owl Optic.
Yep.
Is that the one?
That's the one.
Apparently we stole it back without me even noticing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now I have to figure out where we put the snow owl. Oh, so I pretty much let him on a wild goose chase then.
Who, Swow?
Yes, well, because I helped him go look for it in the RCS.
Oh, shit.
Well, I can't be blamed not to know where stuff is right now.
It'd be cool if they the helicopter behind another key card or something. Had like some hangar doors or something that opened up, give you access to it.
Sorry, I was muted. Like in Base Building Plus, there are hangar doors, so you can actually build.
A hangar for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want them to be like too OP though. I think having it difficult to store one might be interesting. It might be good.
Yeah.
Like you have to land it in front of your base and then push it into a gate or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean.
But I just think for like getting one, it would be good to like, just cool to have it like a military hangar or something that when you swipe a key card, the roof opens up, or even like two big doors. That'd be pretty sick.
Does it like have parts you have to?
I'm not sure how he has it set up on the base. I think I'll probably, if it's not behind a key card or something, then I'm definitely gonna make it to where the parts have to all be found.
Yeah.
So that you don't just, go to like, let's say a military base and find a helicopter. That's too easy.
Yeah, then it's basically whoever is on the server after the wipe first, and then has enough people to go look for it.
Yeah, I think integrating it into like the quest somehow, or a separate quest, would be good.
Or at least make it so that if it does consist of parts that you need to go like multiple places and.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to know the funniest thing?
No.
I logged in today. My mission was to go find a night vision optic of going to go diving and stuff. Hit the rigs. I guess one of the snow owls that I got off of RCS has a night vision optic on it, or I got out of the raid. Maybe they brought it to the raid. I'm literally looking for one and I have one on me right now.
Yeah.
I just checked and I was like, oh shit. What the heck?
Yeah, I can find our night owl now. Our, yeah. I think Daenerys might run around with it.
What the heck, man?
Now I have the scope, now I don't have the rifle.
We have extra ones if you need an extra one.
Daenerys, I'm pretty sure Daenerys has it. But like, we have so much loot in different locations now that I need to go dig up the ammo I got stashed before it despawns. I'm probably just gonna build a base for a hangout next time.
Nice.
And then just keep like complete sets of loot for respawning.
Yeah, this optic is insane. Because it has a rangefinder on it and you have insane zoom at night. Way better than any other optic. It's pretty cool. I think the only thing that I might change on it, maybe, you know, like that has like the green. I might do like the white phosphor.
So
type
thermal?
thing. No, it's still IR, like night vision, but
Yeah.
you know, like, so like the PVS 14s have the green, but then like the PVS 31s have like the white phosphorus tubes.
I don't think I've seen those.
It's like the newer tubes. They have like a just different. It's not green. It's like a whitish, bluish looking kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, those new night vision scopes, like the real life ones, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Basically, just like watching in daylight. Like the first night vision equipment I had, it was like a massive light you had to put on top of your rifle, and then it had like a IR filter. So it basically just filters out most of the it filters out all of the visible spectrum from the light bulb. So it's widely ineffective. And then you had IR scope on your rifle under it. So it was so insanely large, and you had to like carry a battery pack on your body with a cord to it to feed it power.
Yeah. Nowadays the eliminators are so small. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they're basically like beefed up, a little beefed up normal sights, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. I think like the mall and the what's the other one? The mall's a pretty common one. There's one other one. I don't remember the name of it right now. I'd like to get some night vision. It's just so dang expensive.
Yeah. It's
Super fun to play with though.
I only I bought night vision goggles, but they were like back in the 90s. It was the first generations, the Russian
PVS7
no,
or
no,
something.
e- even older. It was the first generation that the Soviet tanks used. So like the tank commander had those on a Russian tank, and somebody like got their hands on them and sold them. So there were no. You had to feed it with like manually with a 9-volt battery, charge it, and it would last for like 15 minutes, and then you would have to like put it on again. It actually worked pretty well, but and it was since it was Soviet, it was in fucking destructible.
Nice.
I mean, you could take a hammer to it, and it was like cast iron, the outer shell of it.
Heck yeah. Shoot, if he still had it, it's probably worth some money now. I'm sure there's some collectors that would love to get their hands on stuff like that. People pay a lot of money for old, like
I should
1980
have
like that.
should have kept it. Like even just for my friends are like in a military museum, they have like an actual old Enigma decoding machine, including with the manual.
Crazy.
And then in the army we had those first generations, called them dig in the forehead, because they're basically just a single sensor
Is that the one
scope.
that has like the single thing that goes down to the binoculars?
Yeah,
Laser?
I think I have a picture of it. 1 second.
Yeah. Because that's the oldest ones that I've seen, like, is the PVS7s, and that's like the single tube that goes to like the two eyes.
Yeah,
And then,
that's the one.
yeah. Crazy. Yeah, I saw a pair at the range, and I saw a pair of the quad tubes, like the ones at the.
Are you like looking in through two oculars, and then it spreads out to those four, or how does it work?
That one is kind of like two that are merged together. Yeah, then it spreads out into four. Um, yeah, but
So
I
you
think
get like a wide field.
yeah, wider field of view, and you get like depth
Okay.
perception and stuff. Because like with the monocular, you don't get any depth perception, like for the PVS 14s. But yeah, they were like $45,000 though. I was like, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Like, who the heck can afford that? It's
Do I
crazy.
do wonder do I want a place to live, or do I want to see at night?
Yeah, right. Yeah, if I win the lottery, I'll probably buy some, but until then, I'll probably never get some.
Yeah.
They're getting pretty good with thermal though. Like the new thermal scopes and thermal optics are that's starting to take over a lot of the
But
industry.
aren't they like integrated now, so you get both thermal and night vision
Yeah,
all in one?
they have like
And
the overlays on some of them where they're combining
yeah,
the
and
two.
including like some overlay identifying targets and distances and stuff.
Yeah. Well, they have the whole like weapon system where it's like they're like where your weapon is aiming is projected through your visor, so you don't even have to aim down sights.
Yeah, you can
It's like
just like
having a
go over the top and
yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's like having a laser, but not even there's actually no laser. It's just seeing it through the visor.
yeah.
Pretty wild.
I sent you a picture of the old shit we had.
Let's check it out. Nice. doesn't look very comfortable.
I'm sure it's not.
Heck yeah. That's pretty cool. How long would the battery last on those?
I didn't remember because I never actually used those. We had some like thermal scopes we used at checkpoints or observation points to monitor separation lines, and they were like large ones, like 2 or 3 shoe boxes large, and then on a tripod, and you had to like feed them compressed air. So you had to like fill bottles with compressed air and then attach to them like every hour. And on top of that, you had to. They ran on batteries, but I can't remember how long they lasted.
Crazy.
I think they lasted like 4 hours or something. But that's 90s tech. Then later in the early 2000s, I think we got thermal sights that were like handheld, but they were still like a size of a shoebox. I mean, like, give it 30, 50 years and it's probably like gonna be a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, it'll be pretty wild. Alright, I think they are getting ready to launch Starship here pretty soon.
What's that? Is that
The largest rocket in the world.
oh, nice.
Launching it for the 11th time. Yep.
But is that Elon's company?
Yeah, SpaceX. Yeah. They're testing. I'm about 6 hours from where I live, so sometimes we go down and watch them. It's pretty impressive.
Oh. Yeah, I would imagine. I would go too. It
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, definitely the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It's
For sure.
basically an apartment building taking off, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a skyscraper just taking off. It's almost 400 feet tall. The block 3 will be 400 feet tall. It'll be over 400 feet tall.
Damn, that's larger than a football field. That's longer than a.
Yeah.
It's taller than a football field is long.
Yeah, by 100 feet. That's ridiculous. What do we got? I'll pull up the stream actually online. Check it out.
So, in a future where Starship is flying several times a day, many thousands of heat shield tiles will be required. So yeah, we need to get cooking on those tiles, which is exactly what's happening inside the fully automated bakery down at the Cape. In just 3 years, tile production at the bakery has surpassed the total number of tiles produced during the 30 years of the shuttle program. To go from the raw material to a finished tile, it takes about 40 hours. And today, the bakery is producing about 1,000 tiles a day. But it's set up to produce enough tiles for 10 ships per month, which is about 7,000 tiles a day, or a tile off the line every 13 seconds. So yeah, the bakery is well on its way to providing Starship with all the tiles for missions to Mars and beyond. And for today's flight, we've made a modification to the heat shield tiles. Dan, do you mind filling us in on what's being referred to as the Crunchwrap tile?
Absolutely. I always love to get to do a little show and tell. So we've got thousands of these heat shield tiles covering Starship. Now they're kind of all next to each other. There's a small gap in between all of them. You got to leave a little bit of space as that metal underneath will expand and contract. That way they don't.
I'm gonna hop over, talk to Tuneris in the
some of
other
that
Discord.
plasma kind of seep
Sounds
through, and we
good,
see
man.
really
Good
high
talking.
heating on the sides and then
Yeah,
down
you
on the
too.
metal.
See ya.
To help fix that, we have this, the crunch wrap that everyone has heard about. So we take essentially that's called Vulcan felt that we then wrap around, and so as these tiles are next to each other, you've got a small bit that was special for today. All right, enough heat shield tiles. Let's go quick check-in on the pad. So if you did notice, we did shift our T0 just a little bit. We're now counting down to 6:23 and 41 seconds Central Time. We shifted a little bit as we were working to finish clearing the range. We are monitoring sea and air space, both here over the Gulf and in our splashdown location over on the Indian Ocean. We were working with the FAA, a lot of other international agencies to coordinate all of this. Good news, range is currently green. We're able to get everything out of the way that we were tracking in the Gulf. So weather status, I don't even really need to do, not a cloud in the sky, beautiful day, no probability of violation for launch at this point. We're not currently tracking any issues on the vehicle or the pad. You can see our fill levels are getting up there. We're almost completely done with our propellant loading. We've gone through all of our checkouts so far this morning, aligning our guidance, navigation, and control system, getting the vehicles ready for prop load, the farm. Everything's gone pretty smoothly so far. We got through our go, no go for prop load. That happens at T-minus 1 hour and 15 minutes. We've been loading fuel and locks on board the ship since about 53 minutes before launch. Boosters started just about 10 minutes after that. We continue loading prop until just around 3 minutes before liftoff. And then at that point, we'll be ready to go. So bottom line at the moment, we're looking real good. Again, 6:23 and 41 seconds Central Time is our target T0. So we're going to keep counting down.
Sounds like great news so far. Thank you, Dan. And we do say it repeatedly because it's important to understand, but these flight tests are all about the data. Data helps us build and fly faster until we're eventually ready to fly people and cargo at scale to Mars. That is our foundational mission and basically just the major inspiration for our work here every day.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Amanda. And our first missions to the Red Planet are just down the road, and we recently shared some exciting news. Starship cargo flights to the Martian surface for research, development, and exploratory missions begin in 2030, and we already have our first customer.
Yeah, exactly. Starship is open for business, and one of the first payloads will be provided by the Italian Space Agency. They recently signed a first-of-its-kind agreement to carry Italian experiments on the initial Starship missions that deliver customer payloads to Mars. In related news, Starship cargo flights to the surface of the Moon for research, development, and exploratory missions will start in 2028. So a ton of Starship activity to look forward to, and if you'd like to learn more about our mission to making humanity multiplanetary, go ahead and visit spacex.com/Mars. Okay, now as we get closer to launch, development continues down here at Starbase, Texas, to shape this growing city into a truly unique place to live and work. And part of being a city, particularly one surrounded by nature, is environmental stewardship. The nearby Boca Beach dunes have unfortunately been eroding at an alarming rate for some time, so SpaceX is teaming up with Cameron County and the city of Starbase to stop that erosion and hopefully preserve the beach for years to come.
Yeah, and as one of its first permanent residents and someone who's actually called Starbase home for over 3 years now, I can tell you the beach totally adds to the uniqueness and awesomeness of living here. Starbase is truly unlike any other place on Earth. You know, where else can you see the world's biggest rocket every single day?
Yeah, Starbase is definitely the place to be, and we're always looking for more people to come help build the future of spaceflight.
Yeah, particularly engineers, especially for our propulsion and mechanical system teams.
You could be working on tests just like these ones, proving out the designs of our next generation Super Heavy booster. Fun fact, we actually tested the booster to 13,400 tons of thrust, which is more than the power of 3.5 Saturn V rockets, which is just crazy. We're also looking for civil and structural engineers to help literally build the future.
Whether it's buildings like the Gigabays currently going up at both Starbase and the Cape, each is a massive vertical integration and assembly facility with over 700,000 square feet of workspace. Both sites are currently in progress, actually going vertical as we speak. Or you could be designing the Starship launch sites of the future. There's really no shortage of future to build here. So visit spacex.com/careers to see all of our openings if you're interested.
Okay, now as we head into terminal count, all eyes are on the rocket. Dan, how are we looking? Are we green?
Amanda, we are so green. Everything's still looking really good. So we've got a green range, not tracking any blockers there to launch. We're continuing to load prop on board the vehicle. We're just about to close out, so we'll close out, again, just about 3 minutes and 20 seconds before liftoff. We'll close out on ship, and then booster just about 30 seconds later, and then you end up with about 11 million pounds of liquid propellant on board those two stages. After we're fully loaded on the vehicle, the pad itself gets ready for launch. We do what's called pushbacks. We clear all that prop out of the lines in the tower and the feed system back into the tanks to get ready for launch. And then in the next couple of minutes, we're going to do our final GNC guidance, navigation, and control system alignment. We're going to arm the automatic flight safety system, and then we're going to do final kind of wiggle checks on the steering for the engines, which we might be able to catch a quick peek at as we get closer to those. If we need to hold, which we are not currently tracking a reason to, that would happen at T-minus 40 seconds. It's built into our countdown. We can pause and wait there for any final checkouts, anything that we need to hold for.
Once we pass that T-minus 40 seconds, a number of events will occur in rapid succession. The ground spin and ignition systems come up to flight pressure, and ship switches to internal power. After that, the quick disconnect arm lockout is removed in preparation for retraction shortly after T0. Now, once we pass T-minus 40 seconds, if any problems come up, we do still have the ability to recycle the count under certain conditions back to T-minus 40 seconds and hold there to assess what happened and then see if we can proceed again to liftoff.
Yep, however, once the water for the deflector system begins flowing at T-minus 10 seconds, any issue after that would be an automatic scrub for the day, as teams would need to refill the deflector's water tanks as well as the propellant storage tanks at the tank farm before making another attempt.
All right, we are coming up on 3 minutes away from launch. You can see the frost line all the way up. We've just closed out prop load onto the ship. Booster coming up shortly. Yeah, in about 10 seconds, we'll finish loading prop on the booster, and then again, we'll have about 11 million pounds of that liquid oxygen, liquid methane on board the vehicles. Not currently tracking a reason to hold at T-minus 40. It can pop up at the last moment or after we pass that gate. We can always hang out there for a couple of minutes if we need to. We do have some extra time. We're not constantly topping off the propellant in these vehicles, so we have about a 7-8 minute window where we can wait for any final issues to clear. We're not currently tracking a reason to hold there. Again, our range continues to be green as we look at sea and airspace both out over the Gulf and in our reentry zone out in the Indian Ocean. All right, 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. A lot of things on tap for Flight 11. Planned to be the last launch of this version of Starship and Super Heavy. Once again, we're really focused on getting ship over to reentry. Once we get to that phase, we're going to dive in. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's going to be happening on our way back through and down to the ground, hopefully out in the Indian Ocean. Minute 45. Should hopefully be seeing. There's a quick wiggle check. Checking out the thrust vector control, the steering on the booster. We use those inner 13 engines. doing their one final dance before the big show. And we'll do that one more time after we cross that T-minus 40 gate. All right, range continues to be green. Still not tracking any issues on vehicle or pad. 1 minute to go. As a reminder, we can hold at T-minus 40. We're not planning to. All right. We're through T-minus 40. Let's listen in. Flight Director Ty Huntington back in the seat. Take us through the final
Flight
seconds
Directors, go
until
for launch. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Pad 1.
Eagles, pitching downrange. Booster Raptor, chamber pressure nominal.
Booster and ship, nominal power and telemetry.
All right, we are about 45 seconds into flight. We're still getting the rattle here at Star Factory. We are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it arcs across the Gulf. Coming up next on Max Q.
Max
All right,
Q.
So at this point, we've passed through that period of maximum aerodynamic pressure. The next thing we're looking forward to is going to be hot staging. So we've got 33 out of 33 Raptors lit. Super Heavy makes its way uphill. Hot staging is going to be coming up in just a little over a minute. At that point, we're going to see all but 3 of those Raptor engines on Super Heavy shut down. Our version of MECO. Most engines cut off instead of main engine. And then after that, we're going to release the clamps that are currently holding Starship to that hot stage adapter. It's then going to ignite its 6 Raptor engines to push it away from Super Heavy and then start making its flight uphill. So in about 30 seconds, we're going to see the engines start to shut down on Super Heavy. You'll see them kind of shut off in separate banks until we've just got those 3 center engines that never stop running for this process, and then looking for 6 ship Raptors. All right. MECO coming up in about 10 seconds. See the engines throttling down.
Booster engine cutoff. Ship ignition.
Stage separation. Use backburn startup.
All right, successful hot staging maneuver. So we've got 12 of the 13 engines lit back up on boosters, so it's doing its boost back. Real excitingly,
Ship
though,
chamber
we've
pressure's
got 6
nominal.
out of 6 Raptors lit on ship there, so it's now going to continue to make its ascent into outer space. Meanwhile, this boost back is happening. We're using those 13 engines, so everything, well, 12 out of the 13, and then we go down to 3, and then we're going to shut down for the end of boost back. That's sending Super Heavy back towards its planned splashdown zone in the Gulf. Right after we finish this boost back burn, we're also going to separate the hot stage. This will be the final time that we're doing this. Is all right, there's the end of the boost back burn. We should be seeing the hot stage. There. So the hot stage separates. It's going to make its way down, also splash down in the Gulf. In the meantime, though, these 6 ship Raptors are going to continue firing for about 5 more minutes. Next up for the booster, though, is going to be its landing burn. There's a cool tracking shot. We dumped some of the prop out on our way back in. All right, so for booster, this is one of the main things we're trying to get is going to be this landing burn. Oh, that's so you can see the hot stage kind of making its way towards the left side. So that's the bottom of the booster. It's about to pass right in front of where you can see some of that prop dump happening. They look like they're close together, but there's a good amount of distance between them, and the hot stage will go down and splash down in the Gulf while the booster comes back for its landing burn.
Starship is on nominal trajectory.
All right. Looking good on our trajectory, looking good on everything. Jake and Amanda, you guys with me down there?
Yeah, definitely. The crowd is gathering over here in the office. You can definitely feel the energy in here. Great to see that booster is making its way down to the splashdown zone in the Gulf.
Yeah, the shaking down here was absolutely nuts. The windows are still there, still intact. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, booster's coming down. We're at about 30 kilometers. All right, yeah, and as we approach that landing, just like tower catches, we will be doing a 13-engine landing burn to slow down. This time it will be in a V3 configuration. And as we're starting to get into the denser part of the atmosphere, the booster is using 4 hypersonic grid fins to guide itself through atmospheric entry towards its landing site.
And we're just about 20 seconds away from landing burn start, where we'll first ignite the center 13 engines, then bring that down to 5 to slow down the booster for landing. And finally, that will come down to 3, and we'll cut all of them off while we're still about 200 meters in the air. So booster is gonna see a bit of a harder
Booster landing burn startup. Booster landing burn shutdown.
And there we heard it, booster landing burn shutdown. We saw a 13 to 5 to 3 V3 demonstration, and into the water we go. Wow, that was absolutely awesome. If you can even hear us right now, congrats to the whole SpaceX team. So far, so good for today. That was incredible.
All right, great stuff, guys. I'm jealous of the crowd. All right, back to ship. Ship's still making its way. We've got a little under 2 minutes left in this ascent burn, so we've got all 6 Raptor engines still firing. So the next major milestone we're going to be looking for is SECO. That's our second stage engine cutoff. That's should be coming right at about 8 minutes and 58 seconds into flight, so we've got about 1:20 still to go. Really cool to see booster go through that landing burn. That was one of our really key demonstrations we wanted to try and do today. Is that's mimicking what we're going to be hopefully doing. Oh, we just got our sonic boom, sounds like, from the booster coming back. All right, less than a minute to go. So we are going to see the 3 RVACs, the vacuum optimized engines, shut down first, and then we'll shut down those 3 center engines. So we should be a little under a minute until SECO. Just a reminder, this is putting us into a suborbital trajectory, so we're intentionally just going slow enough that we're not going to achieve full orbit. This puts us on a course where those engines shut off, and no matter what, we're coming back.
Starship is in terminal guidance.
in the Indian Ocean. All right, terminal guidance. So we should start seeing the shutdowns come up in just a couple seconds. Less than 30 seconds to go in this ship of Scentburn. All right, RVACs have shut off. 3 more to go.
Ship engine cut off.
All right, all ship Raptors have shut
Nominal
down.
orbit insertion.
You just heard nominal orbital insertion, so we are on the path that we wanted to be. So we've got a ship back in space, a whole lot planned for it, lots more still to come. Great seeing Super Heavy make its way to the water, but I'm excited to see what ship can do in space. How's everybody doing down there?
Yeah, if you could hear the crowd behind us this whole time, people are definitely happy with how the day's been panning out so far. Definitely exciting to see Starship safely in space, and super pumped to see all the team's hard work in action here today.
Yeah, and we guaranteed it at the start of the show, but it has been an awesome day so far. It's crazy. All this has happened in just 10 minutes. All the objectives were met on the booster, including that V3 style landing burn. So now all eyes are on the ship as we get ready for our in-space objectives. But we've got a few minutes until that next milestone, so sit tight, enjoy the views, enjoy the space jams. We'll be back at T plus 16 minutes for payload deploy.
All right, welcome back, everybody. If you're just now joining us, where the heck were you? But we are getting ready for payload deploy. That's going to start once we get the payload door open. That should be happening, or at least starting, within the next minute or so. It's been a really cool flight so far. Quick look inside the payload. We've got 8 Starlink simulators getting ready to make their way into outer space. But great flight so far. Booster able to make it all the way to its splashdown and landing burn experiment, so that was really exciting to see. We got ship on orbit, nominal orbital insertion, so right on the money with its trajectory. And now we're ready to start tackling a couple of in-space objectives. So next up, we are currently venting down the nose cone, essentially the payload area of Starship, as we get ready to open up this payload door. We were able to do this successfully for the very first time on our last flight, on Flight 10. Oop. Hal got ahead of me. Looks like he's opening up the payload door already. All right, looks like we got the door open. All right, so payload door is open. Next up, going to be to start deploying these Starlink simulators. They are roughly the same size as the V3 Starlink satellites that Starship's going to be carrying. That's going to add some pretty crazy capacity. We'll run through the numbers in a little bit. We were able to do this for the very first time ever on our last flight, and so this will be another test. We made a couple of tweaks to the rails for deploying this based off of what we saw last time, but excited to see these get out the door. Our next iteration of Starship's also going to have kind of a more powerful PEZ. It's going to deploy these at a little bit faster speed, but looking to see our next demonstration of this hopefully in the next couple of seconds. We should start seeing them move out the door. I mean, that view on your left, so you're basically, that would be if you were sitting at the very top of the nose cone looking down. So there's kind of a short stack. There's 4 on either side, so 8 total. When we start flying Starlinks, for their actual deploy missions, we're going to be carrying stacks of about 60. So much larger stack once we start flying these operationally, but still doing a little bit of a short just for this payload deployed today.
Looks like we got a little bit of movement there, Dan.
Coax it out. Get it moving, Jake.
There we go. All right, first one going out. All right, first one's deployed. Getting ready for the second one here. We do a little reset back to the center position.
Yeah, it takes about a minute for each one.
Looks real smooth too. They made a couple of tweaks to those rails. If you watched the last ones, it had a couple of bumps on the way out, but moving out super clean this time.
Yeah, and as noted earlier in the show, but definitely worth repeating, Starship will deploy Starlink's more advanced V3 satellites, adding 60 terabits per second of capacity to the network per launch. So that's 20 times more than each Falcon 9 launch does today. Just incredible.
Yeah, and anybody that's been following Starship, you know, Starlink's kind of the MVP for these flight tests, where it's not only giving us the views we're seeing right now, but also just real-time data through every phase of flight. So We've got a couple dozen cameras on Starship. We've also got a bunch of cameras spread across the globe, including out in the Indian Ocean where we've got our fun buoys floating. There goes another one. And I mean, we're using Starlink to bring all of this together. It's our drone shots you see here from our great team down here at Starbase, all connected. So Starlink not only giving us cool views off the planet, but also on the planet, help bring everybody along for all these Starship flights. I think that's number 4. Somebody check my math. Okay, we've got 4 Starlink terminals on the outside of Starship. He uses that to talk to the constellation, and through that we actually get about 120 megabits of bandwidth for our downlink. That's our real-time HD video, all of our telemetry, so it's not just kind of giving us these cool views inside, but it's giving all that engineering data in real time, including re-entry when normally a plasma layer builds up and blocks you out. Starlink, powerful enough of a frequency that we're able to kind of punch through that and still get that live view. All right, next one out the door. There we go.
All right, yeah, Starlink is the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people around the world, many of who have never had connectivity before. Oh. Right. Today, Starlink serves more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets, with over 7 million active customers and counting. To meet the global growing demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory over in Bastrop, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, and also introduced Starlink Mini, as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard Kit.
Yeah, and one thing to note about the satellite deploy is that they will be following the same suborbital trajectory of the ship. So these dummy sats will not be going in orbit. We do expect them to burn up on re-entry.
All right, couple more to go. I promise one of these days we'll deploy in daylight. But we're basically trading deploy in the dark so we get those re-entry views for the daytime. All right, I think we got one more to go.
All right, now with payload deploy complete, Starship will now close its payload door and continue to coast around Earth to the Indian Ocean. We still have a ton of major events to come today, including Raptor Relight at about T plus 37 minutes. That will be followed by atmospheric reentry and splashdown. So with that, we're going to go on another quick coast.
Yeah, if you can hear us.
All right, with that payload door closed, we're gonna sit tight, enjoy the views, and enjoy the space jams. Again, we'll be back in just a few minutes for Raptor Relay, and then head back for reentry. right, welcome back everyone. If you're just joining us, you did miss some exciting stuff because Starship successfully deployed its second ever payload, 8 Starlink simulator satellites. And now we're expecting the relight of a single sea-level Raptor engine in space coming up here just after T plus 37 minutes, so about a minute left to go.
Yep, just a little while. I think we're tracking to 37 in around 49 seconds or so. So we should be just about a minute and a half where, again, as Amanda just said, we're going to relight one of those center engines. This will be the third time that we've tried this. We did it successfully back on Flight 10, and then we did it for the very first time back on Flight 6. This is not a deorbit burn. This is demonstrating essentially all of the systems you would need to do a deorbit burn. So that's obviously your Raptor engine, and then also your header tanks, your smaller tanks in the nose cone, where we have liquid oxygen, liquid methane in a smaller, more easily pressurized container, which we can use for on-orbit burns. And we're also going to tap into those when we do our landing burn. So this will be a critical capability. Once we go to full orbital missions, you'll have to do a deorbit burn to break out of orbit, send it back down to Earth. But in this instance, we're already on our way back down towards Earth. So this is just going to demonstrate the capability of turning one of these engines on. We should be coming up in just about 20 seconds or so, looking for one of those Raptor engines to turn back on. They've been off since we completed that successful ascent burn almost 30 minutes ago. Here we go.
Oh, Raptor ignition. And shutdown.
All right, there was that Raptor relight. Looks like engine 3 full duration. As Dan mentioned, that's a third attempt, and we just did it 3 times in a row. So congrats to the team, the ship team, Raptor team. And then there we heard nominal second orbital insertion. All right, so congrats everyone on the milestone. That was awesome to see. We're 3 for 3. We're gonna take another break, and we'll be back for re-entry at about T plus 45 minutes. We'll see you soon.
Starship is slewing for entry. Starship is approaching entry interface.
Ship is starting entry, good attitude.
All right, welcome back, everyone. The ship is currently re-entering Earth's atmosphere. As a reminder, we don't plan to recover the spacecraft today, but rapid and reliable reusability is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, the light show has already begun. You can see plasma starting to build on the windward side of the rocket there. And, you know, re-entry is a critical phase of flight, and we need information on how the ship systems perform. Re-entry is also extremely demanding portion of flight because we need the ship to scrub off all of the energy we used to launch the rocket. So remember the 33 engines plus the 6 engines on ship that we used to get up into space, we now are using aerobraking essentially to scrub off all that energy. And of course, Starlink is a big part of this, giving us the views we have right now, and also letting us gather as much data as possible, which again is really the main reason why we do these flights. And the view we have right now is actually a really good example. As we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, we have some tiles on the leeward side of the flaps here, and we have some different mechanisms, some stud out, basically to see if these tiles will hang on. And you know, we can see already here, it looks like we kept most of them, but I think I see a couple there that are no longer there. So the thermal team is definitely going to be digging into that and taking that data to help us iterate on V3. So yeah, Starlink provides us with one more path to collect data and help us rapidly iterate Starship's design.
And if the ship does manage to make it all the way to re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, or more than 5 times the speed of sound. Re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with spacecraft because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, which is roughly 8 kilometers per second or 5 miles per second. At those insanely high speeds, the spacecraft moving through the atmosphere creates a plasma field around the vehicle.
Yeah, and that blanket of plasma distorts communication frequencies, so it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication. All right, so big picture here, Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. So that means we need to do a propulsive landing instead of a more traditional means like parachutes, which is what our Dragon spacecraft uses, or a runway like the Space Shuttle. Propulsive landing enables more rapid reusability.
Now, as the ship makes its way back to Earth, we should start hearing some callouts. When we hear entry max heating and entry max Q, that means the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads it will experience as it returns. So if it makes it through all of those, that's a pretty good sign that we're doing well.
Yeah, and we heard flaps have control of the vehicle now. Okay, there's a great shot there. You're starting to see the plasma build up. So we will hear a call out when the ship is transonic and then subsonic. Transonic refers to the period of flight where the velocities of airflow surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, somewhere in the range of Mach 0.8 to 1.2. All right, a lot of numbers coming up here, but for reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but most fly around Mach 0.74 to Mach 0.85, which is 480 to 575 miles per hour, or 770 to 930 kilometers per hour. Right now, we're going a little over 26,000 kilometers per hour. So compare that to the airplane at 930. It's like pretty crazy how fast we're going here. All right, and after we hear the call out that Starship is transonic, we should hear the call out that Starship is subsonic. Subsonic, of course, refers to the speed that is much less than the speed of sound. So at that point, the ship's velocity will be starting to slow down, and we'll be looking a little bit more like some of our suborbital flights from, at this point, almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, so re-entry so far is looking pretty good. You can see that plasma field. Also, again, with those missing tile experiments, especially, we're putting the ship through a lot today, but things are looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, we're looking good. I do want to remind people that we are pushing ship to the limits. We've done a lot of these missing tile tests. We did it back on Flight 10. Every time we do it, we throw something new and the ship makes it through. This time, we're really pushing it. We've removed these tiles in some of the spots that see the highest level of heating. And we remove tiles that have zero backup protection underneath. So there's essentially just bare steel. It's one of the heat of re-entry. And so do not be surprised if this is not a very smooth flight on the way down. But again, this is intentional. We are trying to find what are the limits for a ship. How resilient are we to these different issues that could pop up? If we lose a tile anywhere in the vehicle, we want to know what that ultimate impact is going to be. So we've got a couple missing. We had a bunch pulled over the primary fuel, the LOX tanks, everything. This one, we've got a tile missing right on top. So that's going to see some of the highest temperatures during this re-entry, and there's just bare steel right underneath it. So we're going to see if Starship's robust enough to pull through that. Also have some tiles missing around the aft flaps, specifically on the leading edge. So again, we're getting a really good look right at the leading edge. That's getting really intense heating. So again, gonna see if it can make it through. See if all the flaps hold on, see if Starship holds together. But definitely could be a bumpy ride, but this is why we're flying. This is why we're flying in this part of the world. This is why we're putting Starship through these flight tests to really understand what its limits are. So we can then move on to the next thing, which is going to be bringing ships back to the launch site for a catch. But for now, still on this suborbital, the light show continuing. Keep following it in. I think we got about 15 minutes until splashdown.
Yeah, Dan, it looks, you can see our speed our speed indicator in the bottom left there. It looks like we're starting to scrub off velocity a little bit quicker.
Ship is entering the peak heating phase of flight.
Looks like we can see some clouds down there as we pass through 70 kilometers altitude.
Yeah, the sun's starting to come up again. Ooh, there we go.
There we go.
Skirt is intact so far this time. If you watched Flight 10, you saw we entered with a little bit missing. That was ultimately traced to a little bit of buildup. We dumped prop on the way. We had a little bit of solid propellant buildup, and then either static discharge or the plasma ignited it, took out a tiny bit of that skirt, some of the aft flaps, but Starship, again, was able to fight through it, make it all the way to that landing burn. We addressed that, changed some of our prop dump con-ups, though, so should not be seeing that this time around. And as a reminder, in addition to these missing tile tests, we're doing kind of a unique flight on the way in. It's going to do what we call a banking maneuver. So while we're still going supersonic and even hypersonic, we're doing kind of a banking turn. And then we'll do a pretty aggressive turn right as we get into the subsonic and start doing our belly flop. And that's designed to essentially be the approach that we would do on a return to launch site and a tower catch. So don't be surprised if we see the ship start to turn and make a few maneuvers as it makes its way down to the Indian. And fun fact, even though we're doing all this turning, we're essentially targeting the exact same spot in the Indian Ocean we went to last time. All right, just about 12 minutes to go. Still looking good. That gives a pretty good view of those aft flaps where, again, on the leading edge, I think it might be on the one on the other side, we had some tiles removed with no backups behind it. So again, we're really trying to stress some of the most sensitive areas around Starship, where basically if you lose a tile, it's the worst possible spot. And if we're able to make it through this, then that tells us quite a bit about just how resilient this vehicle is.
Yeah, and that shot we just had earlier was looking at what we call the business end of Starship with all the Raptor engines. And those are the engines that we're going to be expecting to light for that flip and landing burn, hopefully in about 10 minutes once we get through reentry. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, looking at E3, that's the one we did the relight on. So it's 2 for 2 so far. We'll see if it can go 3 for 3.
Yeah.
All right, we can see that speed just continue to bleed off under 20,000 kilometers an hour. Ship's still holding together.
Yeah, and if you look in the bottom right, it looks like we've made it all the way to the Indian Ocean. We're coming up kind of near Australia, the west side of Australia there, so pretty crazy. We're only 56 minutes in, and we've made it all the way, halfway around the world. It's actually a good demonstration of a future capability we hope to have on Starship, where we will do point-to-point transport on Earth. So essentially travel anywhere in the world in about an hour or so, which is, you know, going to be pretty crazy. Imagine going from New York to Sydney in 1 hour instead of the, 20 hours it takes currently.
And a reminder, so this camera is, we see some of the heat rate picking up a little bit. And this camera is embedded right in the end of one of those forward flaps, so you see it moving around. That's the flap adjusting to maintain control. Looks like we're getting into our bank maneuver. Now power sliding through the atmosphere.
External temperatures are coming down. Vehicle is now at maximum dynamic pressure.
All right, that was basically our reverse max Q, so most aerodynamic stress that it's going to see during reentry, we just passed through it. So we're past that, we're past peak heating. Ship's still holding together. So we're currently in this bank maneuver. We're gonna see it kind of roll over and do a pretty significant shift as we get down closer to the subsonic speeds.
Yeah, and that bank maneuver that Dan's mentioning is all in part of us to learn about the guidance, navigation, and control for return to launch site missions. So in the near future, we're hoping to return the ship back to the same pad we just took off on 59 minutes ago, and we've got to do some of these pretty dynamic bankings to make that trajectory work out.
All right, the light show kind of calming down as we're starting to move into the lower parts of the atmosphere. We should hit transonic, so hitting that transition between moving faster than the speed of sound and below the speed of sound in just about 3.5 minutes. Our landing burn should happen right around an hour and 6 minutes after launch, so we should be just about 6 minutes away from that. You can see lots of daylight. Everybody cross your fingers, see if our range team is able to get out there and provide any surprise views as Starship makes its way down. Oh, it's like they heard me. Ready and waiting, let's go.
Dan, you just spoke that view into existence there. And again, all brought to us by Starlink.
Maneuver has started.
All right, there we go. So we're now starting into our really heavy bank maneuver. Again, this does almost like a half circle loop to our actual trajectory. We're heading to the same exact splashdown point, but we're kind of doing a more roundabout way to get there, where it's this kind of big, long half moon loop and then a really aggressive and a twist right at the very end. And that would line us up with the launch tower. Starship, on a return to launch site, would fly over the tower, do a quick landing burn flip, and then come down for catching the arms.
How about that S38 decal there, staying strong on that view we just had?
Good to see the numbers back on.
Yeah.
All right, should be hitting transonic in about 2.5 minutes. Landing flip coming up in about 4. Pretty clouds there in the Indian Ocean today. Again, yeah, we changed our launch times. We launch in the evening now, so we get these daytime views down in the Indian Ocean. One of the things we're really looking for, the reason we have the drone, other than, yeah, that looks really cool, is we're able to kind of see the ship. We can only see so much from these cameras. You can't see like the vast majority of the heat shield. So we throw these buoys out there. We've got oh, there's...
You spoke it again, Dan. There it is.
They're playing with me in the control room. All right. But we have these buoys out there. We have these drones that we're trying to see externally how the heat shield held up. Everybody saw from Flight 10, it had a little bit of a paint job, a little bit of a reddish hue. That was from those metallic tiles that we had tested. Kind of oxidizing really rapidly in that plasma and then spreading those little oxide particles all over the heat shield. No metal tiles on this flight, so not expecting to see that.
Dynamic pressure is coming down.
Hope nobody gets seasick. All right, coming up on transonic shortly. It's about 2.5 minutes of landing burn.
Yeah, and once we get to around the 15-kilometer altitude mark, that's where we have a lot of flight history.
Starship is transonic, starting the belly flop phase of flight.
Yep, that belly flop phase that we perfected in the suborbital campaigns, we're entering that now.
Right, starting to get those Raptors ready. Should be 2 minutes away from landing burn. Again, we're going to do a flip. After we ignite those engines, we'll go from 3 down to 2 for the final phase of the landing burn and look for another soft splashdown, hopefully by our buoy and drone, which are hanging out, ready and waiting for a ship.
Seeing all 3 center engines have entered the chill phase.
All right, less than a minute to go.
The ship is making its turn for final approach.
And here's this kind of aggressive final turn that would essentially position it so it's right behind the launch and catch tower. Flaps holding strong. Landing burn in just under 20 seconds.
Ship landing startup.
There's our landing burn. Three down to 2.
Starship has landed.
As we said, we're not planning on recovering the ship today. Hey, welcome back to Earth, Starship. We are down in the Indian Ocean. Let him hear it, Starbase. What a day.
What a flight.
Oh. All right. welcome back to Earthship. What a day. A whole lot more to go through. As you just saw, everybody here at Starbase pretty hyped. Hey, Tyler, out of Hawthorne, how's everybody holding up?
Thank you, Dan. We had a fantastic time watching. It was another exciting Starship flight test in the books, and we hope that you enjoyed those Starlink views too. So congratulations to the team at Starbase and everyone here and around the company. So many employees contribute to the Starship program as we continue to iterate and make progress towards a multi-planetary future. So that wraps it up for us here in Hawthorne. Thank you for tuning in, and back to you guys.
Yeah, what an incredible launch today. We had successful liftoff. Booster completed its objective, successfully splashed down over in the Gulf. Obviously, we saw another amazing Starlink deploy as well from ship.
Yeah, we made it through that re-entry, testing all the different experience. We had missing tiles, gave us quite the light show. We had that Raptor relight 3 for 3. That was ahead of re-entry, of course. And then that awesome splashdown that we just saw, including that dynamic banking maneuver to simulate RTLS when we returned to the launch site. So yeah, we promised maximum excitement, and Starship delivered.
Definitely.
Congrats to all our teammates at SpaceX and to everyone who's supporting the Starship program. And thank you to all our future customers for your support.
We'd also like to thank the fine people of Cameron County, including the residents of its newest city, Starbase, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Yeah, be sure to follow SpaceX on X for updates and about more of the exciting views we didn't get to feature on today's broadcast.
And if you're interested in more launch coverage just like this, head over to spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information.
All right, I will take us out. Hey, congrats, Jake and Amanda. You guys did amazing. Great job. All right, today we launched the world's biggest rocket, knocked out all of our objectives. Shout outs to every single person who made this look easy. Thank you to everybody tuning in. We're going to see you back here for the very first flight of our next generation Starship. So we'll see you then. Good night.